Hi, thank you for joining us in this One Key Resources training session on discrimination, harassment and bullying. This session will take around 20 minutes and you will need to give it your full attention as there will be a questionnaire to complete at the end. One Key Resources acknowledges the traditional owners of the land in which we are permitted to live and work. We pay our respect to traditional leaders past, present and emerging. In this session, we will cover responsibilities of all workplace participants, fair treatment, meaning of discrimination, harassment, sexual harassment, vilification and bullying, examples of behaviours that constitute breaches, expectations of bystanders, consequences for breaches, how you can report a concern, the Employee Assistance Program, responsible use of social media, and control measures. As a One Key Resources workplace participant, you must treat everyone with respect and fairness. Look after your own health and safety. Look after the health and safety of other workplace participants. Comply with the One Key Resources Induction Handbook. Understand and comply with this training and seek further information if you are unclear. Not harass, sexually harass, bully, vilify, victimise or unlawfully discriminate against any workplace participants. Report any incidents of harassment, sexual harassment, bullying, vilification, victimisation or discrimination that you experience or see happening around you to an appropriate manager. Ensure you do not victimise any person involved in a complaint. Ensure you do not vilify another person or group of people. And ensure that, if involved in a complaint, that confidentiality is maintained. One Key Resources aims to ensure all personnel are provided with a fair and productive work environment. All One Key Resources personnel have the responsibility of ensuring their actions foster an environment free from discrimination, harassment, bullying and unfair or biased treatment in accordance with our Code of Conduct. Diversity is what makes each of us unique. It includes our background, personality, life experiences and beliefs. These are the things that make us who we are. A diverse workplace may include individuals who have cultural and linguistic differences, different sexual orientations, differences in social and ethnic backgrounds, people with different gender identities. Working in a diverse environment broadens the worldview of individuals and should foster an inclusive workplace culture. One Key Resources encourages you to understand and appreciate diversity. The Fair Treatment Principle is built on One Key Resources' commitment to maintaining respectful treatment of all individuals, the right to natural justice, timely and consistent management of behaviour, accountability, processes free from bias or unlawful discrimination, and actions based on facts and evidence. If a workplace participant who has made a complaint, or a workplace participant against whom a complaint has been made, feels victimised, this should be reported to the relevant One Key Resources representative. Discrimination occurs when a person or group is treated less favourably than another due to a characteristic that is protected by legislation, for example, age, gender, race, disability or marital status. Direct discrimination is any action which specifically excludes a person or a group of people from a benefit or opportunity, or significantly reduces their chances of obtaining it because of a personal characteristic which is irrelevant to the situation. That is, a person or group of people is treated less favourably than others on the basis of a characteristic which can include age, sex, race, disability or marital status. Indirect discrimination may occur if the outcome of rules, practices and decisions which appear to treat people equally and to be neutral actually has an adverse effect on a group of people or an individual and thus reducing a benefit or opportunity. Practices appear fair in form but are discriminatory in outcome. Discrimination will not be unlawful if it is reasonable in the circumstances. Specific laws exist to deal with discrimination on the following two fronts. The Disability Discrimination Act of 1992 prohibits harassment in the workplace based on or linked to a person's disability or the disability of an associate. The Racial Discrimination Act 1975 prohibits offensive behaviour based on racial hatred. Racial hatred is defined as something done in public that offends, insults or humiliates a person or group of people because of their race, colour or national or ethnic origin. Harassment is described as any unwelcome and uninvited behaviour which can be verbal, non-verbal, physical, written or visual, has no legitimate workplace function, and which intimidates, humiliates or offends another person or persons. The intention of the alleged harasser is irrelevant. What is important is what a reasonable person would think of the situation. Harassment can be a single or repeated act of offensive behaviour. Workplace bullying is repeated, unreasonable behaviour directed towards a worker or group of workers which creates a risk to a worker's mental or physical health and safety. Unreasonable behaviour is that which a reasonable person, having regard to all the circumstances, would see as unreasonable, including behaviour that is victimising, humiliating, intimidating or threatening. Examples of bullying or harassment include verbal abuse, yelling, name-calling, abusive or offensive language, continual unfounded criticism, negative comments about appearance, lifestyle and family, intimidation, violence or threats of violence, damage to or removal of personal items, teasing, pranks, practical jokes, assigning meaningless tasks unrelated to the job, giving people impossible jobs or deadlines, excluding or isolating someone, deliberately withholding information, sabotaging someone, spreading misinformation or rumours, psychological harassment. This is a non-exhaustive list. What is not bullying is reasonable management action, for instance performance targets, work rosters, performance management, disciplinary action, restructuring and workplace change, redirecting or controlling how work is done. Or workplace conflict, such as difference of opinion or disagreements and personality clashes. Vilification is a public act which incites, encourages or urges others to hate, have serious contempt for, or severely ridicule a person or group of people because they are or are thought to be members of a particular group. Vilification has no justification in free speech. Sexual harassment is any unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature which has the possibility of intimidating, humiliating or offending another person or persons. The intention of the alleged harasser is irrelevant. What is important is whether a reasonable person would have anticipated the possibility that the other person would be offended, humiliated or intimidated by the conduct. Personnel may not always realise that the behaviour constitutes sexual harassment, but they must recognise that what is acceptable to one person may not be acceptable to another. Sexual harassment is not behaviour which is based on mutual attraction, friendship and respect that is invited, consensual or reciprocated. Verbal examples of sexual harassment could include questions or comments about private life, suggestive comments or jokes, requests for sex or go out on a date. Physical examples of sexual harassment may include brushing up against a person, touching, fondling or hugging, displaying offensive material or objects, suggestive behaviour such as leering or staring, indecent exposure, stalking and sexual assault. While electronic examples of sexual harassment include sending sexually explicit emails or messages, distributing or displaying sexually explicit pictures or videos, obscene or threatening communication. Again, this is a non-exhaustive list, and depending on the circumstances, it could become a criminal offence and may need to be reported to police. Discrimination, harassment, sexual harassment, vilification, bullying, and other inappropriate workplace behaviour can occur when there is gender inequality, when a power imbalance exists, a toxic workplace culture is perpetuated, when there is a systemic acceptance of unacceptable behaviour. Bystanders don't intervene. Victims and bystanders don't report their concerns. The impacts of discrimination, harassment, sexual harassment, vilification and bullying can include physical injuries, psychological injuries, financial hardship, reduction in productivity. One Key Resources encourages you to be an active bystander. This is the first line of defence to interrupt an inappropriate situation. If you see something, say something. Don't encourage by joining in. Don't silently encourage by looking on. Speak up and say it's not okay. Ask the person if they are okay. Offer to support that person. Report it to your manager. Remember, the standard you walk past is the standard you accept. This section sets out important rules regarding the use of social media whilst engaged with One Key resources. Social media includes all online networks, blogs, and other websites where interaction and sharing of any form of information takes place. Please be aware that your actions and opinions captured via images, posts, or comments can also reflect upon One Key resources' public image. At any time when logging onto and using social media, you must not make any comments about anyone connected to your engagement that could constitute unlawful discrimination, harassment, or bullying. Conduct yourself in a way that is detrimental to One Key resources or brings One Key resources into disrepute. Make any derogatory, offensive, discriminatory, or defamatory comments about One Key resources, its personnel, contractors, suppliers, customers, or clients. Remember, personnel may still be liable even if the company, its employees, contractors, suppliers, customers, or clients are not expressly named, as long as the company or individual reasonably believes they are identifiable. Disclose any trade secrets or confidential information belonging to One Key resources, its suppliers, customers, or clients, or any information which could be used by one or more of One Key resources' competitors. Conduct yourself in a misleading way, including the use of a job title and/or a description that is not part of your contract of employment with One Key resources. In addition, One Key resources recommends you review your personal profile or account regularly and remove posts, links, or comments from other users on your profile or account which are or could be perceived by others as being defamatory, harassing, threatening, bullying, hateful, discriminatory, or indecent, and set your privacy settings to maximum. Personnel who are identified to have contravened any of the rules outlined in this section may face serious disciplinary action as outlined in the One Key Resources Induction Handbook. Depending on the seriousness of the matter, it may amount to gross misconduct and could result in the employee's summary dismissal. In the event you believe this section has been contravened, please review the grievance and complaint section of the Induction Handbook for further guidance or contact your account manager. Anyone who has acted inappropriately or in a manner contrary to One Key Resources' position as outlined in this video may be subjected to disciplinary action and, if appropriate, termination of employment or contract, whichever is applicable. You should also be aware that legal action can be taken against you personally if you discriminate against, harass, vilify, sexually harass, bully, or victimise another person at work. If you are involved in a situation which requires a resolution to protect your physical or psychological health, and you feel confident to try to resolve the matter directly with the other party or parties, One Key Resources encourages this approach. It's best to let the person responsible for the behaviour know that the behaviour is offensive and unacceptable. Furthermore, articulate to the other party or parties how you expect to interact in the future. Set clear boundaries. If you are unable to resolve the matter directly with those involved, refer the matter to your One Key Resources representative. Where appropriate, the One Key Resources manager will try to resolve the issue informally, for instance by talking to both parties separately or together, or arrange a mediation if appropriate in the circumstances. If informal resolution is not appropriate or has not been successful, a more formal approach will be necessary, which would include an investigation in most cases. An investigation outlining allegations will be conducted in a confidential manner. Breaches of confidentiality during an investigation process may lead to disciplinary action, up to and including dismissal. The following is an indication of the formal process that will be undertaken. A statement will be required to be completed by the complainant, detailing the allegations including dates, times, locations, a detailed description of the alleged behaviour, names and witnesses, and an outline of discussions held with the respondent. This statement should be provided to the manager or next level manager as appropriate. The person against whom the complaint has been made will be given details of the alleged behaviour and will be given an opportunity to respond to the allegations. If there is a dispute over facts, statements from any witnesses and other relevant evidence will be gathered. Until the grievance outcome is determined, in most cases work shall continue normally according to the custom and practice existing before the grievance arose. A finding will be made as to whether the complaint has substance. The One Key Resources representative will notify the complainant and the respondent of the outcome. One Key Resources reserves the right to amend the process dependent upon the nature of the complaint or grievance. If disciplinary action is an appropriate outcome, the question of whether a first, second or third, a first and final or final written warning or termination of employment is appropriate will be determined after consideration of the facts, the seriousness of the matter, the employee's response to concerns and any mitigating factors. Disciplinary action may also include directives, for example, to undertake training or to change the duties of an individual. These measures will be determined to assist the employee to return to acceptable performance and/or conduct standards, and/or to reduce the impact of performance or conduct on other employees. An employee may be summarily dismissed, that is, dismissed without notice, if they are found to have committed serious misconduct. Serious misconduct encompasses willful or deliberate behaviour by an employee that is inconsistent with the continuation of the contract of employment, or conduct that causes serious and imminent risk to the health or safety of a person, or the reputation, viability or profitability of One Key Resources. Without limiting the generality of the former statement, conduct will be deemed serious misconduct if the employee engages in theft, fraud or assault during the course of their employment, or is intoxicated or under the influence of a prohibited substance at work, or refuses to carry out lawful or reasonable instruction. One Key Resources are in regular contact with our workplace participants. We believe this enables everyone to discuss any concerns they may have regarding the topics covered in this session. Each workplace participant is allocated to a dedicated account manager who will address any concerns brought to them. Furthermore, at least every 3 months, workplace participants will be contacted and provided an opportunity to raise any questions or concerns they may have. Any matters disclosed through this process will be allocated to the appropriate manager for resolution. If at any time you want to raise a concern, you also have the ability to log the matter through the Report a Safety Concern section of our website. Host clients also regularly provide training and have reporting mechanisms in place. One Key Resources provides an Employee Assistance Program, or EAP, to all employees. The program is designed to provide our employees with assistance with a wide range of family, personal and work-related issues. The EAP is a strictly confidential, free counselling service provided by an independent and professional firm of counsellors. You may access the EAP without the involvement or knowledge of One Key Resources. The EAP service is provided by Drake Workwise and can be accessed by calling 1300 135 600. Further information can be found on their website, drakeworkwise.com.au. Other support services include Lifeline on 13 11 14 and Beyond Blue 1300 224 636. As a One Key Resources workplace participant, you must treat everyone with respect and fairness. Look after your own health and safety. Look after the health and safety of other workplace participants. Comply with One Key Resources Induction Handbook. Understand and comply with this training and seek further information if you are unclear. Not harass, sexually harass, bully, vilify, victimise or unlawfully discriminate against any workplace participants. Report any incidents of harassment, sexual harassment, bullying, vilification, victimisation or discrimination that you experience or see happening around you to an appropriate manager. Ensure you do not victimise any person involved in a complaint. Ensure you do not vilify another person or group of people, and ensure that if involved in a complaint, that confidentiality is maintained. One Key Resources aims to ensure all personnel are provided with a fair and productive work environment. All One Key Resources personnel have the responsibility of ensuring their actions foster an environment free from discrimination, harassment, bullying, and unfair or biased treatment in accordance with our Code of Conduct. Many thanks for participating in this training session. You will now be required to complete the short questionnaire link to confirm your understanding of the information outlined in this video. If you are unclear in any way about what is expected of you, please immediately contact your account manager for further guidance.